this was the most appropriate.
There's nothing that
You're saying that this was the appropriate way?
This was the kindest way of doing this inquiry. You can't have the person in possession of important post which is to be inquired into. You do that yourself. You wanted Mr. Akbar to be removed. You wanted Mr. Pachauri to be removed. And why are you shy of removing the director?
Fair point.
So what is Edom for Edom is always the same thing. It's a fair point I'm saying. Let us not make it into a removal.
I think the point that Justice Mathur was also making was the process. Sure. I think the point that former Supreme Court Judge Justice Mathur was also making was that obviously is not appropriate.
If they were removed, then Justice Mathur would come into the... If they were removed and taken away from the post, then of course Justice Mathur's advice is absolutely on you. But they were not removed. They have gone on leave.
All right.
They have gone on leave temporarily, I'm sure, till the inquiry is completed.
Right.
So let us not involve ourselves.
The government has said that this is an interim measure.
Where nothing is happening.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Let me go across to Mr. Vikram Singh now.
It is necessary so that the inquiry is done without...
Done. So, Mr. Vikram Singh, would you agree that in the interests of fair play, this was the most appropriate way forward?
I would say that administrative action should be swift and unsparing. It was neither swift nor unsparing when the fault lines emerged in early September. And if you really had to act, there is always a best way of doing everything. And I have no reasons to contradict or disagree with Justice Mathur. There's always a best way. And what would have happened if you delayed something for more than a month plus, you could have also delayed it by 12 hours. But you did not. The very fact that you picked up the top 2 police officers, not only of the CBI, but of the country for this kind of a treatment, I would say that it could have been done surgically in a manner that they could have asked to explain, and the explanation, whether satisfactory or unsatisfactory, you could have taken action as per the rule book.
Okay.
And this was not taken as per the rule book. Yes, the CVC has overriding powers over the Delhi Special Police Establishment Act, but it cannot be whimsical, it cannot be knee-jerk, as it is alleged that this action was knee-jerk and not on predictable lines.
Okay, knee-jerk, not on predictable lines, and you believe that this ought to have been handled with some more degree of maturity. Let me go back across now to Jaivir Shergill. Jaivir, as far as the Congress party is concerned, what is the next steps that you intend to take up specifically with this matter? And, you keep, even in your press conference today, you kept talking about the fact that this was linked to Raphael. You called it Raphael phobia. Your president has spoken about this being linked to Raphael as well in a rally in Rajasthan. Do you have any evidence to suggest that there was a preliminary inquiry that had been initiated or was going to be initiated? Do you make those claims backed by any evidence?
Well, as a law student, I was taught a principle called the circumstantial evidence. The proof of pudding is in the eating. Why would the government act in such a jiffy and a haste against a director who was perusing the Rafale investigation? That was not open secret, that the Rafale complaint was under the table, under the lens of the CBI director. Let BJP prove Congress wrong. Let BJP prove Congress' claim of preliminary inquiry wrong by giving a plausible justification that by the stroke of the midnight with one pen, you practically butchered the credibility. Point number one. Point number two is this. Now you ask me, what is the next step? The next step in this investigation is the Supreme Court will ask the government the litmus test that whether there is a word transfer. I have the Vineet Narayan judgment. Can any transfer under any circumstance happen without the approval of the selection committee? The answer is a clear no. Number three, the BJP has exposed themselves by transferring the investigating officers also. So these are the next steps to question the BJP. And last point, is it a coincidence? RBI governor goes, number 1 and 2 in the Supreme Court fight, number 1 and 2 now in the CBI are fighting. The consistent hijacking of institutions by the BJP to transform into a BJP headquarter is in arbitrary a violation of the Constitution of India. This no longer can on, and as a political party we'll place it in the people's court.
Okay. Since we are discussing Rafael, I'll come to you. I'll just come to you, Mr. Verma, in just a second. I just wanted to update our viewers on another development that's taken place today. Yashwant Sinha, Arun Shourie, Prashant Bhushan moving the Supreme Court, saying that the CBI is in dereliction of its duty, of its statutory duty to file a complaint in the Rafael matter, because Yashwant Sinha, Prashant Bhushan and Arun Shourie had filed a complaint in that case on the 4th of October with the CBI. They want all records related to this matter transferred to the CBI and seek a time-bound probe into the matter. Go ahead, Mr. Verma.
Yeah, coming to phobia and paranoia, you see, who is paranoid? In everything you see a Rafael link. How do you get these things? What is the basis of your information? We are not aware that any inquiry was being conducted into a Rafael deal. We are very clean. We have come out with all the explanation. You know, if Jimmy Serial becomes a judge, he will change the whole law of jurisprudence. That you make an allegation, run away, and let the person against whom allegation has been made prove whether it is right or wrong. This is not allowed in democracy. There is Evidence Act of 1872, on the basis of which you go and prove your evidence. Have some evidence.
Yes.
You just cannot go on with Rahul Gandhi, every rally, everywhere, you insinuate, you make any kind of a statement baseless because people are not going to catch you.
That's par for course for politicians, sir. That's par for course for politicians. Shoot and scoot is par for course for politicians, unfortunately, sir. But let me get in a quick final comment from
Justice. At the same time.
It certainly is, sir. But let me go across and get a final comment from Justice AK Mathur. Mr. Mathur, you did question the fact that this was a matter that should be handled with a little bit of maturity and sensitivity, given the fact that this is an extraordinary situation.
I have only
Go ahead, sir.
I have only given you legal perspective, and the horse of all what debate is going on. That's none of my cake. But the fact remains that the government should have been giving a fair play to Mr. Verma. That's the only point. Because suddenly a person selected by such a high-powered committee is being so shabbily treated. That's not the proper way of doing it. Of course, the Supreme Court is already seized of the matter, and things will automatically take its own course. But the institution's credibility has been received a great drawback. That's very unfortunate. As a common man also, and as a judge also, we feel very disturbed that we have such a big trust in the institution. And for restoring this institution, you have taken such a drastic step which you have destroyed the institution as a whole. That means if one or two people are fighting like this, then what remains of the institution? Nothing remains. It's unfortunate. That's only my anxiety was this only. These all political things are apart.
Well, I
think a common man, I feel that
I think the common man shares that anxiety, sir. I think the common man shares your anxiety, sir. I think the common man shares your anxiety because at least like the courts, like the justice system, people do have trust and faith in the CBI, and this has irreparably damaged that.
Down the street, people are talking so boldly about the institution. And we have held, the courts have held the institution in great estimation. You have greatest trust in this institution.
True.
If that trust is gone, then there is no investigation today in the country. That's the only point I want to make.
Yes.
It may have hurt Mr. Verma, but that apart. But that is his point of view. He can take not like it. But the fact is, this is the fact of
Mr. Verma is smiling, sir. Mr. Verma is smiling, sir. So I think everyone's point of view has been taken in the spirit in which it was represented here on the program. Justice AK Mathur, Mr. Verma, Jaiveer Shergill, Mr. Singh and Shantanu Hussain, appreciate you joining us here on CNBC TV 18 on the political exchange to discuss the developments that have taken place in the war within the CBI. We'll take a break, a lot more coming up, don't go anywhere.